Hello everyone, and thanks for participating in the workshop. Today and tomorrow, our workshop team is going to lead you from the sublimely simple to the profitably complex. I have the very easy task of setting the table for others. The Excel-based demonstration I'm going to use is not slick by intention for clarity purposes. We're going to go way back to the beginning. It is important to understand the basics of the metric. So what is departure? Let's describe it initially using no special terminology. Departure is simply a way to compare two distributions, similar in concept to a chi-square test or a Kolmogorov-Smirnov goodness of fit test for those of you who remember your statistics classes. Let's open the spreadsheet and focus on the table on the left. This is the setup of the matrix. The data are in categories of some kind, shown here as percents of something so that they add to 100. There are two different sets of data, 1 and 2, that are classified into the categories in the exact same way. So let's follow the arrow to the right to the table where it's been duplicated. So I will unshade these cells. You see it's exactly the same table except I've added a column. That column is called the minimum. And in each row, I have found the minimum of the two values in that row in the two data sets. So in the first row, of course, the minimum is 5. In the second row, the minimum is 15, and so on. If I sum these minimums over all the rows in the matrix, then I create something that we call similarity. If I subtract that similarity from the potential sum of the values, in this case 100, then I get 55. So the departure is 55. I take the similarity, subtract it from the potential sum, and I get departure. Departure, as shown here, is scaled from 0 to 100, with 0 being exactly similar and 100 being totally dissimilar or departed. Let's go a bit off the path here because something may be useful to you. So I'm going to unshade these columns and show you the actual different similarity components for each row. I subtract data set 1 from data set 2, and I get the values in column M here. These values show you where you have too much in a category and where you have too little in a category. And that can provide guidance on what needs to change in order to reduce departure or increase similarity. In this case, how do I remove things from category B and category F in favor of things in category A, C, D, and E? Sometimes these values are actually more important than the score itself. And let's just take a look at some different values of departure and similarity, just to get an idea of how things change when the different values change. So I'm going to leave data set 1 as it is, but change some values in data set 2. I'm going to put 100 in row F in data set 2. And of course, since it has to add to 100, then I have to zero out all the other values. And so this is the case where I have everything is in category F, but I had nothing in category F in data set 1. So the similarity is 0 and the departure is 100. Let's take another example. So I'm going to this time put 100 in data set 2 for category A, and of course then I have to zero out category F to make sure that the total is 100. You see, in this case, if everything is in A, then my similarity is 20 and my departure is 80. It makes a difference where your categories land in terms of the two different data sets. So 100 means different things depending on the category that it occurs in. Now let's take something that may be a little bit more realistic. Let's just put 20 in these categories, in each of these categories. And what I see here is that the similarity is 85. Still total 100. So the departure is 15. So these are very similar. Data set 2 and data set 1 are very similar. Let's try something else. Let's put 10 in classes A, B, D, and F. and put 50 in class C. Still total 100. The similarity is 50, so the departure is 50. So you can see here I have way too much in category C and not enough in most of the other categories except category F. Let's try one more just to see how it changes, okay? So that was a departure of 50 and a similarity of 50. So I'm going to put 40 in category A. I'm going to put 5 in B and C. I'm going to put 10 in D and E. And I'm going to put 30 in category F. So I've got 40, 50, 60, 70, totals to 100 again. You see here my departure again is 50 and my similarity is 50. It's the exact same score as the previous set of values that I used, but you can see the interpretation is very different. I now have too much in A and too much in F instead of the other way around. So you can see the idea of departure is a simple concept, but the details vary by application and the results need to be interpreted very carefully because sometimes the departure score is the same, but the situation is very different. So let's go on and talk about LANDFIRE.